Have you ever felt it? That electric pull towards someone. Your heart racing, your stomach doing flips, your mind unable to focus on anything else. You tell yourself, this must be love. The chemistry is insane. But what if I told you that this chemistry we romanticize so much might not be love at all? In fact, it could be the very thing that's leading you into heartbreak, over and over again. Today, I want to talk about the truth behind that magical word, chemistry. What it really is, why it's so intense, and whether or not it actually means you're in love. Because sometimes, that spark you feel isn't destiny. Sometimes, it's a warning sign in disguise. When we say we feel chemistry with someone, we're often talking about this overwhelming physical and emotional attraction. It feels almost magical, like something beyond logic. It pulls you in, makes everything feel alive, and completely takes over your senses. But let's break it down. What you're really experiencing is a cocktail of chemicals in your brain. Dopamine, adrenaline, oxytocin. The same chemicals involved in addiction. So yes, what you're feeling is real, but it's also not always reliable. The real problem is that we've been taught to chase intensity. Movies, books, songs, they all tell us that if the passion isn't burning, if your heart doesn't ache for someone, then it must not be real. But that's not love. That's drama. And chemistry can be its most deceptive mask. Because here's the dark truth. We often feel the strongest chemistry with people who reflect our unresolved wounds. People who are emotionally unavailable. People who are inconsistent. People who, in some unconscious way, feel familiar. Not because they're right for us, but because they remind us of old patterns, maybe even old pain. That's why so many of us find ourselves saying, "Why do I always fall for the wrong person?" It's not random. Your body is reacting to something it knows, even if it's harmful. And that reaction, we call it chemistry. There's a woman I once spoke with who told me she never feels that spark with kind, stable men. She described them as nice but boring. But every time she meets someone distant, mysterious, emotionally hot and cold, boom, instant chemistry. It feels intoxicating. But those relationships never last. She ends up anxious, overthinking, walking on eggshells, constantly wondering where she stands. And yet she says, "I just can't fake it. I need that spark." The truth is, she's not addicted to love. She's addicted to the emotional roller coaster that feels like home. Because for many of us, love is supposed to hurt. That's what we learned growing up. That we have to earn love, prove ourselves, be chosen. So when someone makes it easy, we don't trust it. It feels boring, too safe, too unfamiliar. But love isn't meant to be earned. Love isn't meant to make you anxious. Love doesn't come from a place of survival. It comes from safety. And that's where chemistry can lie to you. It whispers, "This is meant to be," when really it's just your nervous system reliving an old pattern. So how do you know if it's love or just chemistry? Ask yourself, do I feel calm in their presence or constantly on edge? Do I feel seen and accepted, or like I'm always performing? Do I feel secure, or am I addicted to the highs and lows? Real love might not give you butterflies every time you see the person, but it will give you something even better, a sense of peace, of being held, of finally being able to breathe. Chemistry is instant. Love is built. Chemistry is loud and thrilling. Love is quiet and grounding. That doesn't mean chemistry is bad. It's not the enemy. But it's not the whole picture. You can absolutely have chemistry and love, but chemistry alone isn't enough. In fact, some of the healthiest relationships begin without fireworks. They begin with ease, with feeling safe to be yourself, with mutual curiosity, open conversations, and a slow but steady trust that grows between two people. It's not that they lack passion, it's that the passion is rooted in safety, not chaos. But here's the hardest part: letting go of our addiction to chaos. Choosing someone who is emotionally available when all we've ever known is distance. Letting love feel easy, even when our nervous system is still waiting for the next crash. It takes awareness. It takes healing. It takes reteaching your body that calm doesn't mean boring. That peace isn't absence of emotion. It's the foundation of emotional connection. That the person who gives you butterflies might not be your soulmate. They might just be your trigger. Sometimes the spark you feel is your trauma recognizing someone else's trauma. Sometimes it's your abandonment wound being reactivated. And yes, it can feel like love. But it's not love. It's fear. It's longing. It's chemistry misfiring. So the next time you feel that crazy connection, pause. Take a breath. Listen to your body. And ask, is this excitement? Or is this anxiety? Because they can feel almost identical. Don't confuse the thrill of uncertainty with emotional intimacy. Don't chase the highs and lows when what you truly crave is emotional safety. Don't settle for a spark when you deserve a steady flame. You don't have to earn love. You don't have to chase it. And you definitely don't have to suffer to keep it. True love may not always sweep you off your feet. It may not flood your chest with fireworks every second, but it will give you something deeper. Presence, safety, consistency. A space where you can finally exhale and just be. And maybe, just maybe, that's the kind of love worth waiting for.